welcome back to my channel Study Desk of Fun. So in this series of creating an AI agent, right, we already have demonstrated like if the submission is expired, then it should trigger a auto email, right, for renewal of subscription. Now let's see how we can do it. So once we have done the setup on local machine, right, after login, we'll see this is the UI which is there in the local host. As we can see, it's running on the local, and the web version that we can see, this is the different one, that is the URL for web, and for local it'll start with the localhost colon 5678. Now here we will first create a workflow that we can click on the create workflow button. Now we will be clicking on the plus button to add a node in the graph. Like since this is the workflow um, engineer, we can say that. So each of the node that present in the graph will perform certain activity, like certain operations it will do. So we will just click on the add first step here, and we will be just use this on a scheduler. So this on a scheduler will nothing but trigger my job after a certain interval. So whether we wanted to schedule in a minute or hours or days or weeks based on our cron syntax, this will execute. So let me just schedule this for every minute. I will just execute this so that we can see this is executing after every 5 minutes. And when we click on the back to canvas, so that we can see that this button has been added, the node has been added. And if you want to rename this, right, so we can just click on the edit, we'll say open, and here we have a schedule trigger, right, so I can say daily trigger. So this will execute my process. Now I'll go back to canvas. Now we will add some manual or sample data, right? Since we are demonstrating in real world, we'll be connecting to database and Google Sheet to get the data, right? So here we will say node, just sample edit. So you can see that edit field is being there. So I'm just using this edit field here. I'll just execute this so that we can see that these are the daily trigger, which is nothing but our first node that we have created, and these are the parameter from my first node. Now here we will be adding certain manual fields. Remember, in real world it will be coming from database or either from Google Sheet. Now we will be adding certain manual field, let's say name, or I can say email. So we are adding email. I'll just keep the type as a string for simplicity, and I'm adding my email. This is Yadav at gmail.com. Now we've required one more field, that is a subscription date, or I can say submission date. So I will keep the type is a string itself, and we'll put date which is less than 2 days, so that we can see that it will be expire after that. So I'll just click on the execute step. Remember, we are just executing it so that it will to see like whether our step or node we have created, it's working fine, or if there are any error, we will just fix it. So that we can see we have created a two field, that this is the manual data we are adding it here. In real world, we will be using something called, like if you click on this plus icon, right? So we have something called Google Sheet. Just type, so you can see that we have a Google Gemini model, and if I just say sheet, right, so you can see that Google Sheet is available, and those we can use to read the data, and we'll just take carry forward. So I hope you have understood till now, like about this canvas, how we can play with this canvas and add different node. In the next video, we'll be continuing by adding the actual code that we can add, and we'll add a Gmail but node so that we will be able to trigger the email. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. Stay tuned. Happy learning.